again, kind of zooming in on the breach, and we're looking at, if you leave it open, then you're going to continue to experience what's going on there now, which has some good parts. The lagoon system itself looks healthy with the tidal flushing, but it creates its problems with your flooding, and it eliminates the managed impoundment portion of Lake Temecao. Presently, it's a very simple project. If we're just looking at closing the breach and then letting the system evolve rather than trying to dike up and really rebuild dunes. This area is still very low and vulnerable. We could look at building this up and then leaving kind of a lower spot right here at the current breach and just saying, look, that's going to be our point. That if it happens, it's going to happen. Further east, you have a little bit wider marsh system behind it, so it's a little less vulnerable to breaching in the future. So what we don't want to do is build this up so much that it, again, reverts our vulnerable spot back to the barrier on the properties. So we could look at different scenarios on what level of effort to close this breach and kind of address some site-specific low areas along this, but I think it's a substantially lower effort than the previous or the original design. I think we're probably looking at half the volume or less to address those kind of issues. So just some things to consider. Closing the breach, it restores your impoundment. It can assist in reducing the tidal flooding, but another breach, you'd be right back where you are. It will initially help, as we saw that rapid accretion after the first closure of that area. Closing this one would cause some accretion of that, and then plus the shoal adding on to that. So I suspect that end to grow fairly substantially over the next several months. And it can be done under the existing permit. I think we discussed the issues with leaving the breach open. Again, by having it open now, it is your resilience point, so that helps protect the other areas. So again, if everybody's happy with the current condition, there's nothing particularly wrong with it, and it helps protect that other area. We talked about the northern dike and separating it and kind of get maybe a little bit of the best of both worlds, but overall I think that does offer your best solution for long-term flooding, but certainly we need to be evaluated for water control and exactly what we're trying to do there. And the issue with that is it's, as Laura said, getting sediment to it. Currently that is not part of our original permit, so it would require a modification or operating under the existing impoundment permit. So I'm just not sure exactly where that falls, but getting sand to it, whether from the beach is obviously your best, cheapest source, but if you can't do that, what are other potential options? So it's an economical project. And again, Laura kind of showed the conceptual plan for that, but essentially we would look at closing off this area, connecting the high ground there and the high ground here, and that would have to be designed in detail later phase. And then finally, just pointing out the scale of this shoal that's attached. And this is from a couple of weeks ago. It's still fairly recent, but not as recent as the oblique images, but this was the old channel. It's completely closed now. Very little flushing going on here in the normal tidal cycle, except for what's coming in and out of Lake Temecao. So that's really the biggest event that we've seen since we've been looking at it. Many more times the scale of the shoals that have attached in 2020, 2021. So it's one smaller shoal. So ultimately, I think this whole east end, and it'll lead into the center part of the island, but you're in a much more better phase over the next 24 months than we have been in recent years. So that's the good news. But certainly does leave some options for how you want to manage that. So I think that's all I have. So thank you.